February 21st, 2025, 3:47 a.m. Dubai. In a high-security server room overlooking the Persian Gulf, something impossible is happening. Money is moving, not thousands, not millions, billions. $1.5 billion in cryptocurrency, vanishing across the blockchain in real time. Bybit, one of the world's largest crypto exchanges holding assets for 50 million users, is being drained. Every security protocol has failed, every safeguard has been bypassed, and nobody knows how. This is not a teenager in a basement. This is not scattered spider. This is something far more terrifying. This is the Lazarus group, North Korea's elite cyber warfare unit, state-sponsored hackers operating under direct orders from Kim Jong-un's regime. And February 21st, 2025, they pulled off the largest cryptocurrency theft in human history. But this story isn't just about code and billions. Before we get to Dubai, we need to talk about Paris, about a crypto CEO named Laurent Balland, about a kidnapping, about a severed finger sent on video, about the moment the crypto world learned that digital fortunes attract analog violence. This is the story of how cryptocurrency became a weapon, how North Korea funds nuclear missiles with stolen Bitcoin, how the digital and physical worlds collided in blood and terror. This is the Bybit heist. 1.5 billion vanished. Before we can understand the Bybit heist, you need to understand what happens when crypto moves from the digital world into physical reality. You need to understand the wrench attack. The term comes from a famous webcomic. Why spend years trying to crack someone's encryption when you can simply threaten them with a wrench until they give you the password? It's brutally simple, and in 2024 and 2025, it became terrifyingly common. June 2024, Paris, France. Laurent Balland, CEO of Ledger, a company that makes hardware cryptocurrency wallets, is working late at his office. Ledger stores billions in crypto assets for customers worldwide. Their devices are supposed to be unhackable, cold storage wallets that never connect to the internet. But Balland and his business partner have access to something even more valuable: the company's master funds, hundreds of millions in cryptocurrency reserves. At 11:30 p.m., armed men storm Balland's office. They're masked, professional. They know exactly what they're looking for. They force him into a van. Within hours, Balland is in an undisclosed location, bound to a chair. The demand is simple: unlock the crypto wallets or face consequences. Balland refuses. He knows the protocols. He knows rescue might be coming. He knows giving them access means financial catastrophe for thousands of customers. That's when they show him the knife. The kidnappers record a video. In it, they cut off Laurent Balland's finger. They don't kill him, that would end their leverage. But they send the video to his business partner with a message: "You're next, unless we get the wallet passwords." The partner, watching the video in horror, faces an impossible choice: give up the keys and betray hundreds of millions in customer assets, or let his friend suffer further mutilation. In the crypto world, there's no password reset button, no customer service to call, no undo. French police launch an emergency operation. Within 72 hours, they raid multiple locations across Paris. Balland is rescued. 4 suspects are arrested. But the message has been sent to the entire cryptocurrency industry. Your billions can be protected by encryption, but you're still made of flesh and blood. And Laurent Balland isn't alone. Throughout 2024 and 2025, crypto kidnappings surge worldwide. In Miami, a Bitcoin trader is abducted and held for $2 million ransom. In Singapore, a crypto executive is tortured for 48 hours. In London, armed robbers invade a Bitcoin millionaire's home, demanding wallet access while his family watches. According to blockchain analysis firm Chainalysis, crypto-related kidnappings increased 400% between 2023 and 2025. The reason? Cryptocurrency holdings are traceable on the blockchain. Criminals can see exactly who holds massive amounts. And unlike banks with security guards and surveillance, crypto holders are often just regular people with extraordinary digital wealth. But physical violence is one thing. What North Korea was planning was something else entirely. They weren't going after individuals with wrenches and knives. They were going after the entire system. And their weapon wasn't violence. It was code. To understand the Bybit heist, you need to understand who pulled it off. You need to understand the Lazarus Group. The Lazarus Group isn't a criminal gang. It's a military unit, officially part of North Korea's Reconnaissance General Bureau, Bureau 121, the country's elite cyber warfare division, and their mission is clear: fund the regime through any means necessary. North Korea is one of the most isolated and sanctioned nations on Earth. International banking is nearly impossible. Trade is restricted. The economy is devastated. But Kim Jong-un still needs billions to fund nuclear weapons programs, military operations, and maintain control over 26 million people. Enter cryptocurrency, anonymous, borderless, untraceable if done correctly. The perfect vehicle for a sanctioned regime to move money. And the Lazarus Group became the world's most prolific state-sponsored crypto thieves. Their track record is staggering. In 2016, they attempted to steal $951 million from Bangladesh Bank, succeeding in taking $81 million. In 2017, they deployed the WannaCry ransomware that infected 300,000 computers worldwide. In 2022, they stole $625 million from the Ronin Network crypto bridge. In 2023, another $100 million from Atomic Wallet. According to the FBI and the United Nations, between 2017 and 2024, the Lazarus Group stole an estimated $3 billion in cryptocurrency. That's billion. With a B enough to fund North Korea's entire nuclear weapons program multiple times over. But their methods aren't brute force. They're patient, sophisticated. They spend months, sometimes years, preparing for a single strike. And in late 2024, they set their sights on the biggest target yet, Bybit. Bybit is one of the world's top 5 cryptocurrency exchanges, headquartered in Dubai. Over 50 million users. At the time of the attack, they held approximately $18 billion in customer assets. Security was supposed to be military-grade. Multi-signature wallets requiring multiple approvals, cold storage for the majority of funds, 24/7 monitoring. None of it mattered. The Lazarus Group's preparation began in October 2024, 4 months before the heist. They didn't target Bybit systems directly, that would be too obvious. Instead, they targeted the human beings with access. They created fake LinkedIn profiles, posed as recruiters from major tech companies, reached out to Bybit employees with offers too good to refuse. One employee, a senior developer, with access to Bybit's wallet infrastructure, received a message about a high-paying position at a competing exchange. The recruiter asked him to review a coding challenge as part of the interview process. Download this file, run this test, show us your skills. The file contained malware, sophisticated, custom-built, undetectable by standard antivirus. The moment the developer executed it, the Lazarus Group had their entry point. Over the next 3 months, they moved laterally through Bybit's network. Quietly, methodically, mapping the infrastructure, identifying wallet addresses, studying the multi-signature approval process, learning the timing of security audits, waiting for the perfect moment. That moment came on February 21, 2025, 3:47 a.m. Dubai time, when most of the security team was asleep, when the system's overnight backup processes created a brief vulnerability window, when billions sat accessible in hot wallets for just 90 seconds during routine maintenance. The Lazarus Group struck with precision. They executed the transaction, and $1.5 billion vanished. February 21, 2025, 3:47 a.m. The alarm triggers in Bybit's Security Operations Center. At first, nobody can believe what they're seeing. The numbers are impossible. 401,346 Ethereum worth approximately $1.5 billion transferring out of Bybit's hot wallets. Not through the normal withdrawal system, not with proper approvals, just moving. The security team tries to shut it down. They attempt to freeze the wallets, revoke permissions, trigger emergency protocols. But the hackers have anticipated everything. They've bypassed every safeguard. The transaction is already broadcasting to the Ethereum network, being confirmed by thousands of nodes worldwide. Within 12 minutes, the transfer is irreversible. The Ethereum is gone, moved to wallets controlled by the Lazarus group. And then the laundering begins. This is where the Lazarus group shows their sophistication. They don't keep the crypto in one place. That would be traceable. Instead, they split it into thousands of smaller transactions, routing through mixing services, converting between different cryptocurrencies, sending funds through decentralized exchanges that don't require identification. They use something called peel chains, sending small amounts through hundreds of intermediary wallets before consolidating again. They utilize privacy coins like Monero that obscure transaction trails. They move funds to addresses in non-cooperative jurisdictions where law enforcement has no reach. Chainalysis, the blockchain forensics firm hired to track the stolen funds, estimates that within 72 hours, the Lazarus group successfully laundered approximately 60% of the stolen Ethereum. Over $900 million effectively disappeared into the dark corners of the crypto ecosystem. But here's where the story gets even stranger, because while Bybit was hemorrhaging billions, the company made a decision that shocked the entire industry. On February 22nd, just hours after the hack, Bybit's CEO Ben Zhou held an emergency press conference. And he said something unprecedented. "We will make all users whole. Every penny stolen will be refunded from company reserves." In crypto history, this almost never happens. When Mt. Gox was hacked in 2014 for $450 million, users waited over a decade for partial refunds. When FTX collapsed in 2022, customers lost billions with no recovery. But Bybit, despite losing $1.5 billion, pledged to absorb the entire loss themselves. The decision was both noble and strategic. Noble because it protected innocent users. Strategic because it prevented a bank run. If customers believed their funds were safe, they wouldn't mass exodus from the platform, which would have collapsed Bybit entirely. But could they actually afford it? Bybit claimed they had sufficient reserves, but $1.5 billion is a catastrophic hit. Within days, rumors spread that Bybit was seeking emergency funding, that they were negotiating with Binance for a bailout, that the company was on the verge of insolvency. Throughout March and April 2025, Bybit implemented emergency measures. They slowed withdrawal limits. They conducted security audits. They hired former CIA cybersecurity specialists. They cooperated with the FBI, Interpol, and blockchain analytics firms to track the stolen funds. But the bigger question remained: how did North Korea, one of the most isolated countries on Earth, pull off the most sophisticated crypto heist in history? And more importantly, where was the money going? April 2025. 2 months after the heist. The FBI releases a statement. "We have attributed the Bybit attack with high confidence to the Lazarus group operating on behalf of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. The evidence is overwhelming. The malware code signatures match previous Lazarus operations. The IP addresses, though obscured through layers of VPNs, trace back to infrastructure previously linked to North Korean operations. The laundering techniques are identical to their 2022 Ronin network hack. But the most damning evidence comes from an unexpected source: North Korea's own behavior. In March 2025, just weeks after the Bybit heist, satellite imagery shows increased activity at North Korea's nuclear facilities. New construction, equipment movement, signs of expanded operations. The United Nations Security Council holds an emergency session. Intelligence agencies present their findings. The Lazarus Group's stolen cryptocurrency isn't being spent on luxury goods or personal enrichment. It's being converted to cash through Chinese and Russian intermediaries, and that cash is funding North Korea's weapons programs. According to a leaked UN report, approximately $2.7 billion in cryptocurrency stolen by the Lazarus Group between 2020 and 2025 directly funded between 40% and 50% of North Korea's nuclear and ballistic missile programs. That includes the development of intercontinental ballistic missiles capable of reaching the United States mainland. Think about that. Every Bitcoin stolen, every Ethereum drained, every investor who lost money in a crypto hack, some of that money is now sitting in a North Korean missile pointed at Seoul, or Tokyo, or Los Angeles. This realization sends shockwaves through the crypto industry. Cryptocurrency was supposed to be about freedom, decentralization, financial sovereignty, but it had become a weapon, a funding mechanism for one of the world's most dangerous regimes. But tracking the money reveals another disturbing pattern. The Lazarus Group isn't working alone. Blockchain forensics reveal that significant portions of the stolen Bybit funds are being routed through Russian cryptocurrency exchanges. Some transactions connect to entities under investigation for evading international sanctions related to the Ukraine war. Other funds flow through Chinese over-the-counter brokers who convert crypto to yuan, which then gets laundered into legitimate Chinese banks. It's an international criminal consortium. North Korea provides the hacking expertise, Russia provides the money laundering infrastructure, China provides the cash-out mechanisms and banking access. Together, they've created a shadow financial system that operates entirely outside Western oversight. In June 2025, the US Treasury Department imposes new sanctions targeting over 40 cryptocurrency addresses linked to the Lazarus Group. They blacklist exchanges that fail to implement proper Know Your Customer protocols. They pressure blockchain companies to develop better tracking tools. But the question remains, can you actually stop a state-sponsored hacking group backed by a nuclear power? Can you regulate a technology designed to be unregulatable? As of December 2025, approximately $600 million of the stolen Bybit funds remain unrecovered, still sitting in North Korean-controlled wallets, still being slowly laundered, still funding weapons programs. July 2025, 5 months after the heist, Bybit announces it has fully restored customer balances. The $1.5 billion hole has been filled using company reserves, emergency funding, and insurance payouts. The platform survives, barely, but the damage extends far beyond one company. The Bybit heist forces a reckoning across the entire cryptocurrency industry. Major exchanges implement radical new security measures. Coinbase moves 95% of assets to cold storage. Kraken implements biometric verification for all employees with wallet access. Binance hires former NSA cryptographers to redesign their security architecture. But the deeper problem remains unsolved: cryptocurrency's fundamental vulnerability to social engineering. The Lazarus Group didn't break encryption. They didn't find a mathematical backdoor. They simply convinced one employee to download a file, one human mistake, one moment of misplaced trust. And the physical violence continues. Throughout 2025, crypto kidnappings surge. The wrench attack becomes the industry's nightmare scenario. Crypto millionaires hire armed security. They move to gated communities. They hide their wealth. In August 2025, a new term enters the crypto vocabulary: OPSEC culture, operational security. Don't talk about your holdings. Don't show wealth on social media. Don't use your real name in crypto communities. The industry that promised radical transparency becomes built on radical privacy out of sheer survival necessity. But perhaps the most chilling development comes in September 2025. Intelligence agencies detect the Lazarus group preparing for their next operation. New fake LinkedIn profiles, new job offers, new coding challenges being sent to employees at another major exchange. The cycle continues, because for North Korea, cryptocurrency isn't just a target, it's a lifeline. As long as Kim Jong-un needs billions to fund weapons programs, as long as international sanctions block traditional banking, as long as cryptocurrency exists with billions in accessible hot wallets, the Lazarus Group will keep hunting. As for the victims, the regular people whose money was stolen and laundered into missiles, most don't know the full story. They got refunded by Bybit. They probably kept using the platform. They might not even realize that their Bitcoin once sat in a North Korean wallet, that their Ethereum helped fund a nuclear program. And Laurent Balland, the Ledger CEO, who lost his finger, he recovered, underwent surgery, returned to work. But in interviews, he warns other crypto executives. The digital world and physical world are colliding. Your encryption means nothing when someone holds a knife to your throat. We built this industry on the idea that code is law. But we forgot, violence is older than code. February 21st, 2026, 1 year after the heist, Dubai. Bybit is still operating. Stronger security, fewer users, but survivors. The company's CEO admits in a rare interview that they came within 72 hours of total collapse, that if panic had spread just slightly faster, the company would have imploded. That $1.5 billion was the most expensive lesson in cybersecurity history. In North Korea, satellite imagery shows new missile tests, new nuclear facility expansions. Kim Jong-un appears at a military parade, flanked by ICBMs that may have been funded, at least in part, by cryptocurrency stolen from people who just wanted to invest in the future of finance. The FBI continues tracking the remaining $600 million in stolen funds, following the blockchain trails, pressuring exchanges, freezing addresses. But it's a game of whack-a-mole. For every wallet they blacklist, 10 more appear. For every exchange they shut down, new ones open in jurisdictions beyond their reach. The cryptocurrency industry promised to revolutionize finance, to bank the unbanked, to create freedom from government control. And in many ways it succeeded, but it also created something unintended, the perfect weapon for rogue states, the perfect target for violent criminals, the perfect storm where code meets geopolitics, meets human greed, meets nuclear weapons. $1.5 billion stolen, $600 million still missing, millions of users affected, one employee's mistake, one sophisticated state-sponsored hacking group, one severed finger, one question that keeps security experts awake at night. When will it happen again? Because in the crypto world, it's never a question of if. Only when, only who, only how much. The Lazarus Group is still out there, watching, waiting, preparing their next phone call, their next fake job offer, their next $1.5 billion payday. And somewhere in Dubai, in Paris, in Singapore, in every crypto hub worldwide, an employee's phone is ringing. A LinkedIn message is arriving. A coding challenge is being downloaded. In the world of cryptocurrency, the next heist has already begun. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like, comment, and share to your friends. Thanks.